what's coming out of this game last night is a lot of hand-wringing about the state of defense in the NFL and whether we just witnessed a milestone watershed moment, a passing of the torch from the way that we have consumed football in our generation, and I'm pushing 50, the way that we have been watching football for years getting to this point. Are we now watching a completely, totally revamped NFL where college-style football, we just saw a team in the Philadelphia Eagles run-pass option their way to a Super Bowl championship last year, and now we're watching a 5-wide pinball machine video game type contest on Monday Night Football last night between two teams with tons of team speed and tons of weapons and two red-hot young quarterbacks that are succeeding really quick in the NFL. Are we seeing a totally changed NFL, which would be, again, a fascinating development to see Mahomes versus Brady and Big Ben or Goff versus Breeze? And the interesting thing is you've got veteran quarterbacks in Breeze and a veteran coach in Reed, totally, in a way, changing what they've done before. Not change, I mean, Breeze has kind of played this style before, but Taysom Hill has been added to the mix, and two running backs that are matchup nightmares, and just the style of offense that Peyton is dialing up. He's adapted. Reed has adapted. Is Brady going to be able to, I will say it, adapt? If he's got to win a game where it's 54 to 51, will they win? They did win 43-40, but is it possible? Are we seeing a changing of the guard here because of the lacks of the defensive rules have been changed to benefit offensive players, and in the name of player safety, the hits over the middle are completely wiped out that we have seen? Are we seeing the lack of practice time? We're seeing more 7-on-7 football on 11-on-11 Sundays and Monday nights now. Is this the change? Is this something you like? Is it something you don't like? But what I tweeted out from the show account, I think is fact, is this was the greatest game in the fantasy football era.
Not for Todd Gurley and Kareem Hunt owners.
No, I know that. Well, Kareem Hunt did score. But my point is this, is that in the era where points galore is the du jour, and we're settling down for a nationally televised game where, let's just say it, what would be like 10, 12 players are on fantasy teams, like literally 90 to 100% of the fantasy teams. And we're all sitting down, and part of the reason why people are sitting down to watch it is not because, hey, it's 9-1 versus 9-1, but they need 80 points for their fantasy team.
And you believed you still had a chance.
Correct. And if we opened a phone line and say, hey, call in with your fantasy stories, people would be like, I was down 120 and I won the game. Or, man, I needed Gurley to do this or that. This is what brings people under the tent now in the NFL in front of a television set. And some people may not like it because, again, you're not 3-and-outing somebody or 6-and-outing somebody. But even last night, 3 defensive scores. And you could say, is it because they're putting the ball up and that's why Mahomes threw it directly into the hands of Ekibon? Or they're putting the ball up and eventually you do it 90 times in a game, Aaron Donald's going to get home? In this day and age, what do you need to win football games? You need team speed. You need a quarterback that can disseminate and assimilate, then disseminate, and then you need pass rushers. So who's got that in the NFL today? Saints, Rams. The Chiefs do have pass rushers.
Well, let me ask you this.
Hold on a minute. Let me just figure this out, too, because we're going to talk about this with Chris Collinsworth in a couple minutes. Bears. I would look, looking over the dashboard.
Bears can't score like this, though.
They've got the ability to do it. Ask the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
50? You think the Bears could score 50?
The Bears have team speed all over the lot. And they do have a quarterback that is beginning to get it, and a coach from the Andy Reid world. Look at this. Put it this way. And I'll be talking about this at next year's combine, at next year's draft. This is going to be the conversation. We're front-loading the conversation of January through April. Everybody's going to want their McVay, or they're going to want their Goff. They're going to want their Trubisky. They're going to want their Nagy. I want to see, if I'm building for the future, I want to see a quarterback that can pull the trigger. I want to see a quarterback who can get out of the pocket and pull the trigger. I want to see a bunch of guys with tons of speed that you cannot cover coming out of the backfield or out wide. If I'm going to scheme my way towards making you confused on defense, and I want to see on defense somebody who's going to go put their fingers in the dirt and hunt, because nobody's going to be able to cover anymore based on the team speed and the rules on defense right now. And that's 21st century football.
And that's my question to you. Do you think this style of play will carry over into the playoffs? Because if you remember, in 2007, Patriots-Giants played an amazing game just like this, 38-35, and the Super Bowl
changed, didn't it?
Was 17-13.
I guess we'll have to tune in to find out, won't we?
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.